Hi. So that's the end of StarCon. Thank you. Yes, I am also sad. Yeah, so to close, I wanted to talk a little bit about the conference and then thank all the many, many people who were involved in making this a thing. So I wanted to start off by talking about why we call the conference StarCon. If you look at our logo, if you look at our logo, it's like this nifty little asterisk mark inside a lightning bulb. It's light, and con. And the idea behind this, the name, is that the star represents the wildcard character, which a lot of you might be familiar with. And in computer science, it basically means anything, right? 0 or more characters, anything goes. And the idea was that we wanted to communicate that this is a conference for everyone, whether you are just interested in tech, whether you just started out learning tech, whether you've been in tech for ages, whether you're a manager, whether you're a grad student or a professor, this is a conference for you. And we also wanted to communicate that as long as it's about technology, anything goes. Testing, graphs, data compression. What else did we have? Open source. We had, my mind is blanking. What else did we talk about? We talked about the history of computers. We talked about timing vulnerabilities. We talked about ransomware. So we really wanted to show that tech is comprised of so many different topics and fields, and the conference was about giving you like a rapid fire exposure to all of them. So that's the name behind StarCon. Now for some history. So how did we decide to run this conference? In February last year, myself, Anna, and Evie, we went to Waterloo we went to Toronto, to the University of Toronto to attend this conference called HelloCon. And it was very much like this, in that there were people and they were talking about just cool tech that they were interested in. And I personally just fell in love. It was my introduction to the Rust programming language. It was my introduction to a lot of stuff that Mozilla was working on. It was my introduction to Raspberry Pi. And I left the conference feeling just so excited to go and learn. And I was like, I want to make people feel that way. And I know that my friends, Evie and Anna, also felt that way. So I think the night of the first day of the conference, we were just like, let's do this. We can do this. How hard can it be? And then a few months later, Evie and I attended this conference called Bang Bang Con, held in New York. And Julia, actually, our keynote speaker, has been organizing it for 5 years now, I think. And it was also a very similar format. They had 10-minute lightning talks instead of 15. And I think I heard 30 talks in 2 days, which if this conference has left you feeling like, oh my God, there's so much, you have no idea. Bang Bang Con was like this and more. And again, I learned just so much about fields of technology that I didn't know existed or only just knew existed. And yeah, we just felt like we know that there are people in the Kitchener-Waterloo area and in Canada who have these stories to tell. We know that there are students who have these stories to tell. And we wanted to create an opportunity in Waterloo for them to say those stories. We travel outside to San Francisco and New York to go to these conferences. And I figured it's time that we do this in Waterloo. And yeah, I feel really great about the way the first run of StarCon went. I've been hearing great feedback from our organizers and volunteers and sponsors and speakers. We had nearly 50% first-time speakers, which I think is a really great achievement. We did a lot of outreach to people who hadn't spoken before, and we said, just because you haven't spoken before just means you haven't had a chance, not that you're not good at speaking. And we were right, because how great were these talks, right? Yeah. We didn't have a quota. We didn't decide, let's get 20% first-time speakers, and those are going to be the weird talks, and let's get experienced people. We had absolutely no such plan. In fact, after we accepted talks, we were like, hey, how many of these are first-time speakers? And we were like, wow, that many? That's pretty amazing. So yeah, that was the conference. Definitely let me or the other organizers know like how you felt about it. But I want to end with thanking people. And as I was making these slides, my heart was like warm and fuzzy, and this is my favorite part of the closing ceremonies. So first off, I want to thank our speakers. Look at these speakers. Look at how many speakers we have. So thank you to Julia, Safia, Christina, Josh, Dinah, Max, Fatima, Kelly, Jordan, Murphy, Erica, Brienne, Tim, Anastasia, Siddharth, Kiefer, Alex, Andrew, Sanjay, Tina, Claire, and Rudy. Thank you so much for your time, for your effort, for your energy, for your excitement. We were so, so, so happy to work with you. I know Anna has been working with you for a while, but I got to see you today and yesterday, and it was an amazing experience. I want to thank our sponsors, all these people who gave us money and funds and books and support. And suggestions. Sortable actually gave us the idea for mentorship sessions, which I think was really helpful. We had online mentorship where speakers sent in their slides. We had in-person mentorship where they actually came in here and projected their slides and practiced their talks, and we gave them feedback. We also had a lot of these companies who gave us money to pay our speakers to travel here. I know we had some people come in from San Francisco and some flew in from other parts of North America, and that was possible because we went to them and we said, we want to make it possible for these speakers to come over here. Yeah. Yeah. We also wanted to pay our speakers for this conference, which is not something a lot of conferences do. And when we were organizing this conference, you have like a minimum viable product, right? So we were like, okay, what's our minimum viable conference? And some things that we did not want to compromise on was paying our speakers. Now, we didn't want to pay them, we couldn't pay them like thousands and thousands of dollars, but we figured that some amount to show them our appreciation for their hard work was absolutely necessary. And we fought for this. Paying our logo designer, paying our photographer, that was absolutely important to us. And I'm so glad that our sponsors understood why we were trying to do that, because they made it happen. So, yeah, please clap. I also want to thank our volunteers. All of these amazing people helped with AV setup. They got podium trained. They helped with registration. They helped with setting up food. They got here, hours before registration began, when the sun wasn't even up to make this happen. And they volunteered their own time to do this. So we're very grateful to them. Yeah. More cool people. We had Neha taking photos of everyone, if you allowed that. We had Clarice, who designed our shirts and our logo. And we had Rick, who is part of the University of Waterloo, who helped us get podium trained and did the AV setup for us. Our program committee. So we had over 100 talk applications, which is way more than Anna, who is the speaker coordinator, was accepting. She was like, Archie, they keep applying. I was like, this is a great problem to have, but it just meant that we wanted people with a diversity of skills and interests to be on the program committee to understand and evaluate talks, and all these people they contributed their time, they evaluated talks, and we had a huge meeting where we picked our final talks, and that was really well run. So thank you to all of them as well. Our talk mentors, there are people who volunteer their time to give feedback on talks, both online and in person. So thank you to all of them as well. I bet your hands hurt. It's worth it. People who gave us advice. So none of us ever ran a conference before, so we spoke to a lot of people. Lindsay and Julia, who ran Bang Bang Con, Josh, who ran HelloCon last year, Alex, who runs Strange Loop, who I just went up to him and I was like, I'm running a conference, please help me. And he gave me great advice. And Joe Atley, who was our faculty supervisor at the University of Waterloo. We're so grateful to all of them. And finally, I want to thank the people that I worked with for dealing with me and giving up months of their free time to run this conference. Fatima, Aaron, and Shivangi, who were on logistics, Evie, who was on publicity, and got code of conduct training from Sage Sharp for the conference. Anna, who did a lot of the speaker stuff, she anonymized all of our talks so that our talks were reviewed anonymously, and also dealt with all the speakers. And I guess I thank myself for doing things. Yeah. Okay. Feedback is extremely important to us because we want to run this event again. I think that this is an absolutely great event. I think that a lot of people liked it. I think that we didn't do it perfectly this time, and we won't do it perfectly the next time, but we will do it better the next time. So we really, really, really want your feedback. We want to know what worked. We want to know what didn't work. We want to know what you want to see change. How was the unconference? If you went to the board games event, how was that? How was the food? How was the AV? How were the talks? We have a pretty short questionnaire form feedback thing for you at this link. We will be posting it in Slack and emailing it to you. But please, 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 please fill it out. Okay, many pleases. And yeah, we have the Raffle Winners for all the books that you saw outside. We have 3 ebook vouchers for $50, which is a lot of money if you're a student, and also a lot of money if you're like a person. And we also have books that we're giving out on Python development, iOS development, and scripting, and books that I want to take home and never give to anyone, but we're giving them to all of you, generously given to us by No Starch Press. So please come to the registration table right after this, and we will give you your winnings if you're here. Right, so all of you wanted an unconference again, which we thought was pretty cool because we figured there wouldn't be any interest on the second day, but there was. So there's 4 topics that got a lot of interest, especially the third topic. So yeah, again, we have labeled sections around the room. Section 1 is over there. Section 2 is over there. Section 3 is over there. And section 4 is over there. And these are the topics that we've picked, but feel free to talk about anything that isn't here as well. Once again, thank you so much for coming out. Goodbye? Is that it? Okay.